Well, guys, we are excited because we are about to have our very first family worship night. And so this next Wednesday, we are inviting the parents out because as we've been talking, Deuteronomy 6 teaches us that the kids we work with, it is their parents' responsibility to disciple them, to raise them to be disciples for Christ. And so it's our goal to partner with the families and support what they're supposed to be doing at home. And so this Wednesday night is going to be our family worship night, where we're going to have the opportunity to invite the parents out and engage them with what we are doing and kind of show them what we do. And so we want to give you guys some tools and tips in order to more effectively connect with the parents.
Right, so that first step really involves with getting them there.
Right.
And so your parents of your students may or may not know about this event. If their kids haven't told them, they probably have no idea. And so if you have parent phone numbers, please contact your parents this week and let them know that they are invited on Wednesday night. Something important that they might want to know is if they've got younger children, there will be things for those younger kids during that time. They'll be downstairs, probably watching a movie, eating some pizza, and so the whole family's invited, but parents sit with their teenage students to engage in the lesson with them. And so
and we'll be having more communication come out about what's happening for the littlest. Too, coming this week. So
once we have workers.
Yes. So then once the kids get there with their parents, we have an obligation now. Like, what do we do in order to engage the parent? Like, what does that time actually look like? And so you'll see from the services schedule that we are going to have worship. We're going to have a little bit of a game. We are going to have a large group lesson. Really where I'm talking to the families as a whole. Our topic is living sacrifice, and the fact, really what I'm going to be talking about is the fact that we are to live out our life as a disciple for Christ, and our kids are to follow that. And we as a church are to support that. And so with that, the lesson is going to be there. There will be worship after the lesson, but post the lesson and worship, there's going to be a meet and greet time, a time for you guys to meet and greet the parents. And their kids and get to know them and make that connection. And we wanted to give you some tools on what to do next Wednesday when you're actually engaging with the parents. So.
Right. So I would encourage you, even before that meet and greet starts, just right at the beginning of service, if we haven't started yet and you see a member of your group come in with their parents, don't wait for them to come to you. Go greet the parents and the student and make sure they know that you are excited that their student is part of your group. And so we want to really be communicating that all night long. The other thing is...
Maybe even tell them something cool you know about their kid, or like one thing you like about them. Hopefully you like them.
Or make it up. We didn't say that. Okay, so hopefully you can recall maybe a way they've contributed to the group, or maybe a friendship that they have that's valuable, something like that you can reference, so their parent knows you know who their kid is, and you're glad they're part of your group. And then we really want parents to know that we are here to support them. Sometimes as a parent, there's a little bit of a feeling of competition with the youth leader, because maybe their child opens up to you and not to them. And we really want to just get rid of that illusion that it's us versus them. It is us together. We have their best interest in heart. And so we want to make sure parents know that we're on their side. We're here to support them. If they ever have questions or if they need to communicate with us, we're available. And so, if you don't have phone numbers, try and get them during that meet and greet. It's a great chance. Just put out a simple sheet and say, hey, check it out. Write down your phone number. I'd love to be able to reach out to you every once in a while.
As well as we are going to capture all of those through this door prize thing that we're going to do.
Hopefully.
But it would also be good for you to grab them.
Right, because you're going to want those. And this isn't going to be our last family worship night.
No, January 8th is our next one.
Right, so we need to be able to follow up and get in contact with them again. And then if you're ever doing an event, you have that information as well, so that you can reach out to parents and invite their child to that event.
Right.
So get phone numbers. Let them know that you're on the same team and you're here to support them. And then I would encourage you just to kind of set the tone, and run the night. And so the worst thing about coming into something you've never been to before is not knowing what you're supposed to do. And so you don't want parents to come in and just be awkwardly standing there like, now what? We're going to have some snacks, and so point those out, encourage them to grab them. If you want them to have a seat, they can do that. You can do a roundabout, an icebreaker, or just talk a little bit about what we discussed that night. We will have handouts, and we want parents to know that this is what we do every single week, is this handout. And so we want you this week to take it home and do it, but why don't we do the first question together? And so...
Right, because the handout, you won't have time to do it in the group.
No.
It's more there to put in the parents' hands for them to see what we normally talk about and how we run a group. And so feel free, again, to also allow them to know, like, we email this out, we put it in the app. There are many places for them to get this every week normally, if they haven't already been using that resource as well. So.
Right. So it's really up to you how you use your meet and greet time, but I would encourage you to be intentional. Run it, don't let anybody stand there awkwardly wondering what's going on. But make sure that parents know you're not just there for their kids, you're also there for them, because our job is to support the family, and we are enthusiastic about that. And so we want them to know we're on the same team.
All right. Well, I hope that these Lead Well tips help you as you do continue to drive community within your groups, and really this week connecting the parents with you and bridging that gap in the responsibility to make disciples for Christ.